So you're exhausted and you're not sure what to do about it. You can't explain why everybody else seems to be managing and you're not. Everyone thinks that you have help, but you're still the one managing everything. And here's what's exactly happening. Here's what's actually happening. You're carrying the mental load, the invisible labor of constantly thinking, planning, managing, and coordinating everything for everyone. Does that sound like you? I've certainly had times in my life where the mental load was extremely heavy. At work, you're not just delivering projects, you're tracking dependencies, managing stakeholder expectations, putting out fires, maybe even redoing others' work. At home, you're not just making dinner, you're meal planning, you're tracking what's in the fridge, remembering preferences, coordinating timing with everyone's schedules. This isn't inefficiency. This is carrying mental load you were never designed to carry alone. This is carrying mental load you were never designed to carry alone. And the reason no one sees it, because it happens entirely inside your head. At 3 a.m., during meetings, at dinner, while you're relaxing. Here's what nobody tells you. The mental load is the single biggest energy drain keeping you exhausted. And it's the one thing productivity systems never address. Thanks for joining me. We're live on LinkedIn and YouTube. I'm Karen, and I coach high-achieving working parents to stop sacrificing sanity for success. Today, I'm going to show you what mental load actually is, why it is uniquely draining for high achievers, and how to redistribute it completely so you can reclaim the cognitive space and energy currently being consumed by invisible labor. Sound good? Before we dive in, I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. Are you in the US, somewhere else in the world? I am on the East Coast of the US, outside of Baltimore. It is currently a high of 20 degrees here. So we're having a cold spell for us. So how about you? Where are you tuning in from? All right. So what is mental load and how can you recognize it? It isn't about the tasks themselves. It's about the invisible thinking behind the tasks. Sometimes it just feels like one big headache, quite honestly, starts showing up physically. At work, it might look like you don't just attend the meetings, you prepare, you anticipate questions, you manage relationships. You don't just deliver, you track dependencies, follow up, manage expectations, put out fires. You don't just do your job, you redo others' work because you're responsible if it's not done right. At home, you don't just make dinner, you meal plan, track the fridge, remember preferences, coordinate timing. You don't just get kids to activities, you track schedules, coordinate transportation, remember equipment. You don't just share tasks, you hold the complete picture of what needs doing and when for whom. This is mental load. Conception, thinking of what needs doing, plus planning, figuring out how and when, plus execution, actually doing it. Most people only see the execution. You're carrying all three. No wonder you're tired. This cognitive labor runs 24/7 at work and home. It's why your brain won't shut off at 3 a.m. Not because you forgot something, because the mental coordination never stops, even when you're supposed to be sleeping. It's why you're exhausted at the end of every day, even if you accomplished quite a bit of your to-do list. It's why vacation doesn't feel restful, because you're still the one managing everything. So let me ask you a question. Are you trying to fix a cognitive problem with efficiency tools? And actually, before I ask that question, mental load is in full operation here. Let me go to this question. Does your brain feel like it has 47 tabs open, constantly jumping between them? I know mine does. And it just feels like this swirl, one to the other, one to the other. What's now? What's later? It's a lot. My husband actually noticed this morning that my energy seemed down, and that actually maybe it was my mood. He said, it's not my mood. It's that I've got a lot of projects running in my mind, a lot of tabs open in the background. So how about you? Do you feel like your brain has 47 tabs open? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. All right. A lot of you saying, yes, you do. Okay. So why is mental load uniquely draining? Mental load is more draining than the actual work you're doing for 4 reasons. It's uniquely exhausting because number 1, it's constant. You can finish a project, but mental load never ends. There's always another schedule, another thing to remember, another thing to coordinate. Number 2, it's unpredictable. You can plan your work, but mental load intrudes randomly during meetings, at dinner, in the shower at 3 a.m. Number 3, it's invisible. When you deliver a project, it's recognized. Mental load, no one sees it until you stop doing it and things start to fall apart. And number 4, it splits your focus. You can't be fully present anywhere because part of your brain is always running elsewhere. Did I remember? When is? Who needs? I actually remember very clearly driving one of my kids to soccer games that I had not been to the field before. And I have the email instructions and an address, on the passenger seat of the car. And I remember continually checking it to make sure I was headed to the right field because I just had too much running in all of those tabs to know for sure, calmly, confidently, I was headed in the right direction. So here's the trap. You keep trying to solve a cognitive problem, the mental load, with efficiency tools, time management apps, better schedules, productivity apps. But here's the thing, no planner app can stop your brain from the mental coordination running in the background 24/7. It's not an efficiency problem, it's a mental load problem. Here's why, as a high achiever, you are vulnerable to carrying so much mental load? Number one, you're trained to be a strategic thinker. You see the big picture. You anticipate problems. You manage complexity, and you can also execute. So, soup to nuts, you've got the whole thing, keeping track of all of it in your head. Those are the exact skills that make you excellent at your job, no doubt. And they also make you the default person who holds all the details and for whom people rely on. At work, you see dependencies no one else tracks, so you become the one tracking them. At home, you see what needs planning, so you become the one planning it. So, are you trying to fix a cognitive problem with efficiency tools? Planners, apps, time management hacks? Tell me yes or no in the chat. My guess is because this is the messaging, is that if I could just be better at managing my time, everything would get done and I'd have the energy that I need for things that are important to me. So let's look into the chat. Are you trying to fix a cognitive problem with efficiency tools? Okay. Thanks for participating in that. Let's move on to the next point of how can you redistribute mental load so that you're not the only one carrying it. You can't just delegate the execution. You have to transfer the entire responsibility, conception, planning, and the execution. At work, it can't be, can you handle this meeting for me? Because you're still the one tracking it. You're still the one with the need to follow up. Maybe you might say, let me know if you need help. But then you're still the safety net. You're still the backup plan. You're still the backup brain, in fact. Delegating tasks while you keep the big mental picture. At home, it can look like, can you help with dinner? You're still the meal planner. Can you take one of the kids, drop them off at the party? You've already purchased the gift, wrapped it, and managed the RSVP. They're just the driver. This is partial redistribution. You've offloaded the execution, but you're still carrying conception and planning. That is why you're still exhausted. So let's take a look at how to really redistribute the full mental load. So we're going to work with all three parts. Transfer the conception. Think of what's doing, not you reminding the other person. 3, planning. They figure out how and when, not you creating the plan. And then execution. They do it, not you supervising. Instead of at work, instead of can you draft this and I'll review, becomes you own the client relationship. You decide how to approach it, execute it, and maintain it. It's a great way to build capacity. Side note. At home, instead of can you help with dinner, it becomes you own dinner Tuesdays and Thursdays. You plan the meals, you cook, you serve, you clean up. So when you delegate at work or home, Do you release it completely or do you stay the backup brain? Put A, release, or B, backup in the chat. When you delegate at work or home, do you release it completely or do you stay the backup brain? A lot of people remain the backup brain. That's one of the reasons why you're so tired. It's not because you're not efficient enough, you're not good at time management, or there's something wrong with you. It's because you're carrying the mental load. So conception, planning, and execution. You're carrying the whole thing that you were never meant to carry alone. Okay, so let's tie this together. Mental load is the invisible cognitive labor, conception, planning, execution, also known as CPE, that's running 24/7. It's uniquely draining because it's constant, it's unpredictable, invisible, and splits your focus. And you can't fix a cognitive problem with efficiency tools. And the solution is complete redistribution, transferring the CPE, not just delegating execution. You weren't designed to carry all of this alone, and you don't have to. So I'm wondering, are you ready to consider how to start redistributing mental load this week? A, are you ready? B, not yet. Put that in the chat. If you're ready, I've got lots of resources I can offer you about how to do it. No doubt it takes practice and patience, but it's possible. And that is how you get the energy, the space, the cognitive ability to start investing in your own personal growth and well-being. So are you ready or not yet? Okay. So here's what I want you to understand. You weren't designed to carry all of this alone, and you don't have to. The mental load isn't yours to hold forever. It's yours to redistribute. That's pretty empowering. So you have the cognitive space for what matters to you, as I mentioned, your personal growth, your well-being. So I teach this inside the Power Hour system, which is free inside my community, Rebalance You. You'll learn how to identify where you're carrying the mental load, how to transfer complete ownership, not just delegate the execution, and how to reclaim cognitive space for what matters to you. This isn't about doing less work total. It's about stopping the invisible cognitive labor that's draining you. So comment mental load below, and I'll send you the link so you can join my free community, Rebalance You. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next week for my next Rebalance Live, which is actually going to focus on the energized leader method. I'm looking forward to talking with you about how we can take the 1 power hour that you claim for yourself and how that can grow and amplify into a 3-phase, 9-step program that'll help you go from being an overwhelmed, over-functioning working parent to an energized leader who does not sacrifice sanity for success. Take care.